All right, well, guys, let's go ahead and fire it up here. And we're starting with a little bit of a squad ride in the ATS market where both of you are on a bet that I looked long and hard on. So maybe we can make this a 3-for-3 squad ride. This is one I thought about greatly. I didn't end up getting invested, but Eric, the Chicago Bears, catching a lot of points for being a team currently controlling their destiny in the NFC.
Yeah, I mean that is the overarching thesis here, right? We've got the Chicago Bears facing off against the Green Bay Packers, getting 6.5 points, your number one overall seed in the NFC. I
Yeah.
don't know if there's been another point in the history of the NFL where number one overall seed is getting nearly a touchdown against any other team, but we are here now. Look, I think that this could be very much so a close game. I wouldn't be entirely surprised if we see the Bears lose this game, but I don't think they're going to lose by nearly a touchdown, right? If you go back and look over really the majority of their games, sans one against the Ravens team all the way back in October, these are essentially field goal games, many of them breaking in the favor of the Bears. The ones that they're losing, they're just narrowly apart from. So I think we're really finding a Bears team seeing a Bears team that's found its identity as a ball control offense that doesn't make a lot of mistakes, that has the weapons to make big plays if needed, and they'll come up in clutch time, whether it's by way of taking advantage of their very skilled athletic offensive weapons or by scheming up something a little wicked at the hands of Ben Johnson. So I think this will be a close one. I'm happy to take the points in this NFC North matchup.
Taron Johnson, Kyler Gordon, their two top cornerbacks who have been gone most of the season, will be likely active for this one as well, which I think just gives them even more potential upside. Steve, I actually even thought about sprinkling on that plus 275 money line because it felt so tempting. However, we do have Matt LaFleur, and what scared me off is Matt LaFleur's record in November is insane. He's not great at covering the number, but he's really good outright at least. So did that worry you at all when you decided to get invested with Eric on the squad ride?
No, it didn't. I don't really look at things like that. Like that starts to get way too the stars aligning for me. But I just look at the teams, right? I think on paper, the Packers are the better defense, and on the offensive side, the Bears are the better team, right? So you're looking at two strengths coming together. Where it comes down to is who's stronger where, right? So the Packers offense is significantly better than the Bears defense right now. So I think the Packers will win this game, but I don't think it's going to be by a touchdown. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. Ben Johnson has this team playing kind of with their hair on fire. And it's a different Bears team. This team is not bad. So to get 6.5, that's like saying they're a bad team when in reality they're 8-3, 9-3, something like that. So yeah, this is a great line.
Okay, and Steve, you're going back to the well on Eric's Houston Texans here, this time against the Kansas City Chiefs. Can they snuff the torch and put the Chiefs out of their misery?
Yeah, they can. Like this defense is so good, where the Chiefs are struggling offensively that this really should be a almost even money line. Like this should be even. This plus 3.5. This is not going to be a high scoring game. These are two really good defensive teams. 3.5 is a lot of points in one of these games, especially where it's going to be like kind of trading field goals, I feel like. And if I'm going to count on one offense to kind of be a little more explosive than the other, I think Houston might have that a little bit better right now than the Kansas City Chiefs because that offense is coming together. CJ Stroud looks like he's finding his groove. They were able to take down the Colts, and the Colts looked like world beaters. They looked a lot better than the Chiefs. That defense is so good that I can count on them to pull this off. I was considering giving them the money line.
Okay. All right. And Eric, let's go ahead to the money lines where you have not one, but two plays on the upset special. What do you have for us, my friend?
Yeah, I guess technically we'll make it 3. I've got a third against the spread with the Cardinals getting 8.5 points versus the Rams. The Cardinals, when they lose, it's basically by a field goal. The Rams have shown that they can be had by inferior teams. So like getting the points with the Cardinals, who are technically an underdog, but over in the money line markets, those two underdogs that I'm looking at, the Dallas Cowboys facing off against the Detroit Lions this Thursday night. plus 142 on the money line, one of the hottest teams in all of the NFL. And for as much as we want to dunk on Jerry Jones and make fun of him for trading away Micah Parsons and seemingly sabotaging his own season, the moves they made at the trade deadline have legitimately changed the prospects for this team. And specifically, those moves are going to match up against a mash unit of an offensive line for the Detroit Lions an offense that will likely be without Amon-Ra St. Brown on the short turnaround week following that injury. And Jared Goff has a long history of turning back into a pumpkin when he is facing pressure. So we know that the Cowboys offense is one of the most electric in all of the NFL. And I think that this push that they'll get on the defensive front will get Jared Goff off of his pedestal and get him scrambling, making mistakes, throwing off target, all of the the old warts of Jared Goff that got him shipped out of Los Angeles will very likely present themselves against this tough Cowboys front. Sticking with another underdog in the NFC East, the Washington Commanders, plus 118 versus the Minnesota Vikings.
Don't hate that.
Maybe it's Brosmer, maybe it's Brosmer with eye black, JJ McCarthy, whatever it might be.
You're talking about 9?
Yeah, 9 out here. This quarterback position is an absolute nightmare for the Minnesota Vikings. And moreover, the Washington Commanders, there's a non-zero chance that Jaden Daniels is back out there. So much so that this is a pick that Steve is squad riding with me on. And when he got into the sheet just a few hours after I did, the price had already moved. They were plus 110, right? So, I think the market is shifting this way. And, Daniels practiced 3 times last week. I don't think he can be ruled out definitively. So there could be a point where they shift to become a heavy favorite if we get some good news on the quarterback front.
Steve, is this more a backing of the commies or more just a fade of the Vikings, who I thought were going to be really competitive in this NFC North? They've been anything but over the last 2 months.
Yeah, it's a fade of the Vikings. And, JJ McCarthy, the only thing he seems to have studied in his year off with injury is the Russell Wilson school of being totally cringy, because he stinks. He is just bad. He is a bad quarterback at the NFL level. As a matter of fact, in terms of EPA, I believe he is the worst quarterback of all time since it's been tracked, except for Jamarcus Russell. So it's not awesome how bad he's been. Plus, getting Jaden Daniels back, that makes this Commanders team significantly better. This defense isn't bad. They were able to battle with the Broncos. There's nothing I'm looking at with JJ McCarthy or this Vikings team that has me optimistic. He's rendered Justin Jefferson pedestrian. He's totally neutered the best wide receiver in the league.
Yeah.
Like, what he's doing should be illegal. That's a war crime in
better than Brosmer. Better than Brosmer. I'll tell you that.
You sure about that?
Yes,
barely.
Yes.
Barely.
Brosmer was horrific. That was terrible.
I will say this: if you took Will Levis and stuck him in this offense, it's a better offense with Will Levis than JJ McCarthy.
Can you say definitively that JJ McCarthy is not Will Levis wearing eye black?
I'm still willing.
Has anybody seen them both in the same place?
I wouldn't.
No,
I wouldn't insult Will Levis like that.
But I heard JJ McCarthy does not like mayo, actually, though. So no mayo on the sandwich, though. So
a likely alibi.
That's another reason to not like him. And you can't. All right, can we talk about this too? You can't give yourself a nickname. That's that's lame. That is so. Oh my God! If he said that and he was my teammate, I'd be like, "You are such a loser."
What if someone's given him that name in the past, though? What if someone gave him that nickname at Michigan?
No, he gave himself it. I don't care. So then let the teammate say it.
I'm still on the JJ McCarthy bandwagon.
I bring out 9. You're still on the JJ McCarthy bandwagon, brother. The Titanic has split. It's vertical. It's
brother.
Sinking.
We've been we're 7 games into this guy's career. He didn't play any practice snaps last year. He's been hurt half of this year. Yeah, I'm gonna give him the freaking grace. Sorry about it. But
we won't forget Ward.
Second worst quarterback of all time.
I'm not saying I'm out on Cam Ward either, but I'm just a little bit lower. Like, I've lowered a lot of Cam Ward. It's been the rushing is what really put me down on him, because I thought he would run around a little bit more than he did. And also, I thought the Titans as a whole
quarterback of all time
would be better. So,
second worst.
All right, let's go to the totals, and I'm going to get us started here. I'm going with a team total. I'm going Cleveland Browns over 19.5 points. This is minus 111 at FanDuel against the Titans. This is an insanely low total for this entire game. And I actually thought about going with the over for it. It's 33.5. Steve will touch on that in a second. But for me, and a couple trends that actually would help Steve out with that is 9 of 12 Browns games have hit this total. 7 of 12 Titans games have also hit that total, including 6 straight games for him. I just feel better about Cleveland in this one because the Titans, they've allowed 11 of 12 teams to cross 19 points. So Cam Ward, he is the most sacked quarterback in the NFL. The sack king, Myles Garrett, is going to be going up against him. I think that means bad news. I think that means turnovers. I think that means short fields for sure. Sanders and company. The Titans have also been one of the best matchups for opposing quarterbacks over the past month. They have not picked off a quarterback in the past 4 weeks. So I think Shedeur Sanders should have a decent game after getting his feet a little bit wet yet again. I hope it is Sanders and not Dillon Gabriel. Still, time is to be told on that. The Browns also, more importantly, they're 2-0 ATS when they're a favorite this season. In those games, they have scored 27 points on the Jets, 31 against Miami. And the weather should also not be a factor up there along the shores of Lake Erie. It's a 20% chance of precipitation. And even if it is snowing a little bit, I'm going to trust the guy who's played in snow up there in Boulder to get his team to 20 points. So I love the Browns over 19.5 points. And Steve, you're just on the total for the over of this game.
Yeah, this over is comically low, 33.5 points. That is, if these two teams don't hit this, like, they need to be kicked out of the NFL because this is a stupid number. It's so unbelievably low for a game that is not anticipated to be in the elements, right? So you mentioned it, and I absolutely agree with you, is that Cam Ward and the Titans, they're good for like 2 or 3 turnovers in this game. I'm sure of it, where it's going to be a super short field. The Browns will score. They'll be up 21-0 before you know it. And Cam Ward, he likes garbage time. He'll sling it around, throw up a few points on garbage time. This game will end 28-10 or 28-14.
So I should come on the team total with me. Come on, baby, let's go.
Listen, I'm fine going 19.5. That's a great number. I didn't see the team total. I try to just play the game because I like to root for the whole thing to happen because I'm an offensive kind of guy.
That's fair. It is very frustrating sometimes when you bet a team total and then the other team starts scoring. You're like, why didn't I just bet the over? I've been there a couple times this year in college for sure.
Yeah. So it's just, when I was coaching football, I'm an offensive guy. I'm an offensive coach. So I like to root for the total points. But this is it's too low. This is an NFL. Mm-hmm. These are 2 NFL teams. This is too low.
Okay. And Steve, 2 more totals quickly for us here. You're going with the Saints, Tampa Bay over 42.5 and the Miami Dolphins versus the Jets over 40.5. So some pretty gross offenses here all the way around. You're not scared though. Not one bit.
No, I'm not. I mean, like, the Jets offense put up a decent number against the Atlanta Falcons, where the Falcons have been a pretty good pass defense this year, and Tyrod Taylor was able to make a couple throws. It seems like Adonai Mitchell is getting his footing in New York, and getting those passes. And it's good to see John Mechie, after everything he went through, able to kind of, come up and make a name for himself again.
That's your dog,
the Miami Dolphins dog, baby. Defense apart.
Yeah. Yes, I agree.
Like the Miami Dolphins offense they're going to eat them alive. Like Devaughn Achane may run for 200 yards. Like, I'm not even kidding. This is going to be like goofy. These are 2 offenses these are 2 defenses that aren't playing great. The Dolphins shockingly playing better as of late. Weirdly competent on defense, but the Jets look like they're finding some form of a rhythm where they're just saying, Breece Hall, carry us to where you need to carry us to, please. And the weakness of the Miami Dolphins is kind of in their run stopping ability. I believe Breece Hall will have a big game, and then the Jets have no run stopper because they traded Quinnen Williams away. So that's going to open the lane for Devaughn Achane. I'm not thrilled about the quarterback situation, but I am optimistic of these 2 teams. As far as the New Orleans Saints versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers, these are 2 pretty bad defenses. This is going to be a shootout. Baker Mayfield may be out. Not too worried about it. I'm. You know what? This is a vibes. It's a vibes pick, but there's like backing to it, right? Because Todd Bowles, while we think of him as a defensive-minded guy, he seems to run an offense out there that scores points. Teddy Bridgewater, I'll trust him. I'll trust him if he starts to get to this over 42.5. And I trust I don't trust Tyler Shough, but he seems to have a little bit of that garbage time in him where this could go over that number. These are two teams that aren't playing for a ton right now. It just seems like the seasons are crumbling around them. And that's often where guys are just trying to make a name for themselves and make some money. And there are guys on both of these teams that are currently looking for that next step. Olave wants to take that step. I know Devin Neal wants to prove that he's a starter in this league. There are definitely players that are going to play harder in this, and it is a division game. And I expect the atmosphere and the competitiveness to flow. And we know Baker, right? We know Baker. He's not one to sit out if he doesn't have to. I wouldn't be shocked if he winds up in this game at some point, like playing in this game anyway.
All right, let's go ahead and get to the player props. I'm going to get us started on Thursday Night Football. George Pickens over 77.5 receiving yards, -114 at FanDuel. I like this number specifically because it's 77.5. I've seen it at 78.5, even 79.5 at a couple books. And GP has hit this specific line of 77.5 every game since week 6. So it probably won't because I bet on him. But the Lions right now, they are allowing the third most receiving yards to opposing wide receivers in that span, the most touchdowns over the past month as well. Those have come likely from some big plays from players such as Christian Watson, Dontavian Wicks, Wan'Dale Robinson. This is also the highest total on the slate, so I want to get invested. And boys, I'm 0-6 betting on any Thursday Night Football action this year. So I have to, positive regression. You got to come with me on this one. I'm going GP over there. I'm also going to go with 2 Saints players on their overs as well. Devaughn, Vele over receiving yards or receptions. Not sure which one is. We haven't seen this being released as of yet. Tuesday night recording this. The Saints should be trailing in this game though. And over the past month right now, the Bucs are tied for the most receiving yards allowed and the second most receptions allowed to opposing wide receivers. Teams wide receiver 2s in that span are averaging 7.5 targets, 4.5 receptions, 73.5 receiving yards. Vele over the past 2 weeks with Tyler Shough under center, 7 targets for 37 yards, or 7 targets for 3 for 37, then 8 targets this past week's 93 yards and a touchdown, 17% and 21% target share with Tyler Shough averaging 40.5 attempts per game. And speaking of Tyler Shough, fire him up, boys. Over 218.5 passing yards, -114. I already laid this. This is my favorite bet of the week. In 4 starts so far, the Louisville Slugger averaging 235 passing yards. He's hit this line in 3 out of 4 starts. And in the last 8 games, quarterbacks have averaged 294.3 passing yards against Tampa Bay. Shough, in his first taste of regular season action, him and Spencer Rattler against the Bucs, they combined for 264 passing yards, 51 attempts back in week 8. So I'm going with a little dirty dogs on the Saints. Eric, you also have a player prop coming by way, one of the most explosive and consistent wide receivers on all the land, coming in the home of the Chiefs.
Yeah, a player that I said a moment ago that I would be happy to trade 2 first-round picks in Dynasty for, none other than Rashee Rice. There are many things working here. The first is that 62.5 receiving yards is just a misprice. He should not have a number this low anywhere out there. BetRivers is giving it to us over at -117. Every other book out there is somewhere around 66 or 67.5 yards. So happy to go to the over there. Even with that, right, Rashee Rice is averaging well beyond that, nearly 79 yards receiving per game over his abbreviated 2025 season. But moreover, the matchup that I'm looking to take advantage of is that of slot wide receivers against the Texans. We know that Derek Stingley and Kamari Lassiter are 2 of the best perimeter corners and arguably the best perimeter tandem of corners in all of the NFL. And so that funnels a lot of activity and target volume to the slot players. And Rashee Rice among wide receivers for the Kansas City Chiefs leads the Chiefs in slot target rate. So he is seeing the vast majority of the work out of the target, out of the slot for the Kansas City Chiefs. That is where you can take advantage of that matchup against Jalen Petrie. And Petrie is allowing a 75% catch rate and just hemorrhaging yards after catch. 110 yards after catch for a slot corner is absolutely insane. Rashee Rice currently number 14 in the league in yards after catch as well. So this one sets up for Rashee Rice. Happy to go over the 62.5. Might be a play that I look to ladder up to close to 100 even.
Okay, interesting. For me, one more player prop, and this is conditional. I need to make sure no DeMercado active. Amari DeMercado, that is. No Trey Benson again. Give me Zonovan Knight. Bam Knight. Wham bam.
Bam.
Thank you. Over receiving yards for me. BP projections right now putting this line to be released right around that 12.5 mark. I would get on that early if we do not see DeMercado and Benson practicing again this week. Bam has hit this line in 6 of 8 games so far this season. That's a 75% clip, boys. Brissett targeting running backs right now in an 18.7% clip in all his starts this season. And over the past month, the Rams have actually allowed the third most receiving yards to running backs, 51.5 receiving yards per game, and the fourth most receptions, 5.8 per game. Running backs have crossed this mark, 4 of them in that span as well. So I like Bam Knight to continue not only be effective in the receiving game, but hey, this guy's got a little chops out there right now. He's making a miss and looking pretty good out there. So let's go ahead. Let's round out the program with our IBT Media touchdown call contest and calls of the week. And it is, of course, presented by our friends over at Dynasty Dex. What is Dynasty Dex, you ask? Well, maybe one of the only very, very awesome places out there to make sure that you're celebrating your league and doing it right. If you're a winner, if you're going to have someone win your leagues coming up, why get a trophy when you have to just pass it around, right? Like, it never works. If you're like me, I actually broke our fantasy football trophy on the way to our league draft a couple years ago. We then got a new trophy, and I actually lost the names of the previous winners. So I'm in all types of trouble here, right? I wouldn't be, though, if we actually just use Dynasty Decks from the start, where you can engrave it, you can keep it forever. You can also use them for your basketball tournaments, your Madden tournaments, your fantasy NASCAR leagues, whatever you're doing, your golf tournaments. We have everything you need over there at Dynasty Deck. So if you guys want to enter the contest, again, a quick reminder, you can do that by joining the IBT football family. You're going to get access into our memorabilia giveaways. You're also going to get entry into the touchdown call contest, get our full weekly NFL and college football betting cards, and you can join the conversation over there on the Discord. Boys, I got some pretty sweet jerseys over on some Black Friday deals that we're going to be giving away in the new year. So looking forward to that. A lot happening. And on the touchdown call contest front, Trav finally hitting a wall 2 weeks straight. No touchdowns for our boy Trav. He is 19. Rob and James slowly, graciously tracking him down from behind with 18 touchdown calls. Steve, you got 2 last week from your boy RJ Harvey. Holla at him, 16. I got 1 with Christian McCaffrey at 15. Eric, you've caught up to me, but still on the other side of the board, baby, with 15. Trash Sandwiches, 13. Ben Siebert, 13. And a little old Jake Perry. I don't think this guy's hit a touchdown in about 2 months now. So it has been a tough scene in the touchdown call contest for some of us. Pretty great for the other ones, including our friend Steven Lawson. Steve, kick us off. What do you have for the touchdown calls of the week?
Yeah, you know what? It didn't work for me the first time I did this, so I'm going back to the well, though. And Jonathan Taylor, please, I need one of those 3 touchdown games from you. I need to make up ground fast, and no one in the league has been better at doing that for anybody than Jonathan Taylor. Multiple 3 touchdown games. I am all in because I do get 1- bet on these, and this is the second time I'm using JT. So please, brother, help me out.
He didn't get you any your last time you used him too.
Zero last time I bet on him. And then I'm going to bet on the guy that we've mentioned a few times now in the program. And I would also trade 2 first-round picks. Just want to put it out there. Rashee Rice, I do think is going to have a heavy involvement where Patrick Mahomes may be trying to get the ball out of his hands pretty quick with that Houston Texans front coming at him. And the guy he wants to go to is his screen maven, Rashee Rice. They get real creative with him in the red zone, especially within the 5. He is as likely to get a handoff as anybody else is. He gets those end arounds. He gets those jet sweeps. He gets those screen passes. Rashee Rice will get into the end zone this week. I am confident on it. Plus 125 via BetMGM. I'm all in on Rashee Rice this week.
For me, I'm in on Devaughn, Achane anytime touchdown, -140 at DraftKings. Already laid multiple units down on this. Aside from my Shough bet, this is probably my favorite one of the week. Achane has scored in 8 of 12 games so far this season, 10 touchdowns total. 3 of those came across 4 divisional games. Achane also 3 for 3 scoring against the Jets since becoming the lead back in 2024. The Jets are tied for allowing the most touchdowns to running backs over the past month with 7. So I'm going to go ahead and fire up Devaughn, Achane, and also give me a little Chris Rodriguez on the anytime touchdown. No line for this right now. And Eric, I saw you trying to steal it for a prop bet. This is not a prop bet. This is a touchdown call, and you can't steal it from me because I am going with Chris Rodriguez. Running backs have scored in 6 straight games against the Vikings, and it's been the thumpers. Zach Charbonnet, Emmanuel Wilson, how about 2? Kyle Monangai, David Montgomery, Kamani Vidal. It's those types of running backs that are profiling, getting in here. C-Rod has scored in 4 of the last 6 games. He's rushed for the 6th most yards inside the 10-yard line in that span, on the 16th most attempts as well. So give me a little Chris Rodriguez once again. And Eric Romoff, who do you have? Touchdown call contest. Can you jump me this week? Can you finally do it? You've been trying to do it all freaking year, man.
I mean, I could jump you to the left side of the graphic if you weren't the one making the graphic. Same thing with your Caleb Johnson love, the only one who ranks him, and he makes his way into the IBT ADP re-rank. But I digress. I think my path to continuing to climb up these rankings is saving some of the heaviest hitters for the stretch run. So I've got some of the most prolific touchdown scorers still in my back pocket. And with that in mind, going with a little bit of a deeper cut, my favorite, at least presuming that when the line posts, RJ Harvey will be drinking a bit of juice, I'm assuming around -125 to score an anytime touchdown. He has the Las Vegas Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders are allowing nearly 1.5 rushing touchdowns per game, the 3rd most in the NFL. But also we've seen RJ Harvey can get it done as a pass catcher, and a quick screen is an easy way to counterpunch that pressure coming off the edge from Max Crosby. So like him to find the end zone as my favorite. My underdog is a slight one, and it's trying to take advantage of a narrow window that's opened up. That's Jameson Williams plus 110 over at DraftKings to score an anytime touchdown. Look, Jameson Williams is coming in scoring a touchdown in 5 of his last 7 games. He's got 4 touchdowns since Dan Campbell wrangled away play calling duties from John Morton. Now we're talking about a game that has one of the highest totals in all of the NFL slate this week and is going to be without Amon-Ra St. Brown. So I like Jameson Williams to find the end zone here in week 14 against the Cowboys.
Who let the dogs out? Who? That song had a hold on our generation growing up. I'll tell you what, folks. That song definitely had a.
I don't know if we solved that mystery yet. Do we know?
I'm gonna guess Kyle Scott left the dogs out. I'm gonna guess Kyle Scott.
You know what that song? Y'all know that song isn't about dogs, right?
It's not about loose dogs.
It's about your homies out on the street hanging out. What is it?
No.
What's going on?
It's, you know what, we'll talk about it off air.
Okay. All right. Well,
you have to ask.
Yeah. All right. Well, I will also probably get copyright struck because I sung that so well. Ben in the chat as well saying thank you, Kyron, even though it should have been 2. Hey, Ben, beggars can't be choosers here, buddy. Come on. Do I need to pull the graphic back up? You finally jumped Jake. Let's be happy with it. Let's not get, all upset that it should have been 2. Because even I'd also like to say this too. Screw James, man, because I had the same 2 people as I had Bijan and Trey McBride in week 13, and neither of them scored. And James had them in week 14. They both scored for him. So I don't even. And I had Tyler Algier in week 13. He scored. All 3 of them scored. What? Oh, that makes me mad.
This is real right side of the graphic energy, Seth. I think you need to update this for next week.
I agree.
Okay, all right. If I am tied with someone, I will put myself on the right side of the graphic. That is what we'll do. So I am with you there because you're right. But that is some BS. Come on, I had 3 touchdown calls last week. Lay my hard American dollars on them, and they don't come through, but then the next week they all 3 hit. What are the chances with that? Just that
Probably
also
pretty high.
yeah, and also I put multiple units on Davante Adams to score a touchdown right before he went on this insane run of touchdowns. So yeah, I'm the cooler apparently. But hey, someone's got to play that role. Someone also has to be the heel of this particular program. You know I like to do both. And if you've rode with us this long, please give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the entire channel. So much good content coming for you as we round out the 2025 NFL season and the calendar year as a whole. We have fantasy football, NFL betting coverage for you every single week. Some college football betting mixed in there. NASCAR betting still ripping around the track as things heat up for the 2026 season. PGA betting, we'll be back with you on the 19th hole with Jake Perry in 2026. And then entertainment betting nonstop right now on Popcorn Root Beer, movie reviews, making picks and predictions for box office, Rotten Tomato scores, everything in between, all to help you cash more and to enjoy the ride along the way. Yes, sir. So much good content, including tomorrow, Popcorn Root Beer with Steve, Trash Sandwiches, and Jacob Perry. Also, be sure to check out in-betweenmedia.com. We got some dope written content over there. All the entertainment reviews you need, all the fancy football, college football betting stuff you need. It's locked and loaded for you. For my friends, Eric Romoff, Steven Lawson, and of course, that dang Yinzer, Kyle Scott. I'm Seth Woolcock. Thanks for watching, and keep it in between. Until next time, folks.